as much as we as a family go camping and we do some of the same things, it's not the same. It's very different to do it with your peers and to grow that independence, which I think is a very important part of going to camp.
I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading camps and kids programs. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
I guess what I think is unique about YMCA Camp Pinecrest is the diversity of activities for the students, for the campers. My daughter's been to one or two other either day camps or overnight camps, and they all have the very traditional, swimming and canoeing. But when we got to Pinecrest, they have 2 high ropes courses, low ropes course, archery, all these things that she really wanted to try. So I thought that that was unique about it. So just the ability to choose so many different things, but also I like the idea of getting her to do out trips, getting that experience. We do that a little bit with our family, but to do it with people her own age in that different kind of setting. So they do that with the 2-week campers get to go out for different amounts of time. And then if that's something that she likes to do, because she's discovered that through camp, she can then do that because they offer trips to the French River and other areas. So I know she can do that later on and still be a part of that camp. Certainly the staff, I've been able to interact with some staff at other camps, and they're nice, but I just found that the staff overall at Pinecrest were just really attentive and understanding of the students' needs. But it was also just this feeling of inclusiveness, wanting the campers to make the most of the situation that they're in and get the most out of camp. So I really found that that right away we went to the open house, and just the friendliness with which we were welcomed, and everyone seemed to be interested in Olivia, my daughter, and what she wanted to do. So it just really made it feel very welcoming, I guess. One of the nice things was they offer an open house for anyone, but especially for newer campers. So that happens, I think it was in June. My daughter's gone 3 times now. So even though she's gone 3 times, we continue to go back to the open house just because she just enjoys being up there and being in that environment. But the first time we went, she got to see all the facilities. She got to meet the people. And again, they were so welcoming. She got to meet a few of her counselors and some of the other people that would be at camp. And so it just seemed, looking at her face and being excited about being at camp. I mean, driving up, she was a little bit nervous, which I understand, but it seemed like when we got there, with the way that the staff welcomed everyone, and she was able to go around and try different things, it just seemed to be a really good fit, that she felt she was really going to enjoy herself at the camp. And I had the same feeling. So, I mean, we all have our nervousness about letting our kids go. And you kind of wonder when you pick them up how they're going to react. And so I went to pick her up and sort of pulled up, and I'm looking around because there's lots of campers getting ready to be picked up. And I kind of spotted her, and she was doing some sort of art thing, building something out of grass for somebody, just like a wreath or something. And so she kind of looked up, and I waved to her, and she kind of gave me like a head nod, like, hey, like we'd seen each other, just earlier that day kind of thing. And we hadn't seen each other for 2 weeks. And, I realized right away that it was just that she'd, grown a little more confident, that as much as she may have missed us, she, didn't have that. She was a little bit stronger and a little bit more independent now, which I think is a big part of what the camp going to this kind of camp offers. And so I noticed, you kind of wonder, is it going to be that, in the running into your arms, crying, and, just, sobbing because they're so happy to see you. But, which, there's a part of you that I guess you always want your little kids to do that. But when that didn't happen, I recognized that it was a growth, and that she'll be stronger and more confident because of that. So as hard as it might have been to see it, I certainly recognized it for what it was, and it was good. I guess for some it's harder than others. It's always hard. I know this year in particular, when my daughter was away, the first 2 or 3 nights, because there's no contact, you are wondering, how is she doing? Is she getting by okay? And all these things are just always playing on your mind. I guess the way I looked at it was, I knew she was in a safe environment. She was with people her own age. The counselors are right in the cabin with them. So if there was any issues, there's somebody there. They're not, having to wander around and find someone. And then there's other supporting staff all throughout the facility. So, it made me feel very confident that as much as she may get homesick or something like that, that there would be someone there, not only the counselors, but perhaps, and I know in her case, there were campers in her cabin that had been there before. The first time she went was new for her. And so they're there to help support as well. So, yeah, they may have a night. And I asked her, how did it go? And she goes, well, the first night I was a little bit homesick, but, then she starts to make friends. And that's all part of that growth that we want to see in our kids. We want them to be strong, confident people. And so sending them overnight, it allows you to have that happen in a very safe environment. So you just have to, go yourself, go to the camp during that open house, meet the counselors, meet the other staff, the permanent staff that are there running it. And I think you'll get a sense of that safety that they have. They've been doing this for over 100 years. Not obviously that the counselors that are there have, but they've learned how to handle these kinds of things, and that's been passed down over the years. So I think that also helped. You talk to some, I got the chance again at the open house and other times to go and talk to some of the other staff that are really running it and get a good sense from them. So that helped in my confidence that she would do well there, and it would be a safe and growing environment. There's always a part of us as parents, I look at my daughter who's 12, and she's growing up so fast, and there's a part of me that you don't want that to happen. You want to keep them as you remember them as these innocent little kids, but then we also want them to grow up and be strong, confident people. And it is hard to do that with parents around. So having the chance, like I said, to go away to something like this and have the experiences, and that's the part I found amazing with the drive home. You just listen to, in my case, my daughter just telling stories about all the amazing experiences she had. And as much as we as a family go camping and we do some of the same things, it's not the same. It's very different to do it with your peers and to grow that independence, which I think is a very important part of going to camp, because you don't have mom and dad to lean on. So it is a part of that growth, and I think it's an important part. So I just think it's a very, I think every kid should go to camp and get that experience, because when they're older, they're going to go off. I mean, even in high school, they're starting to be a bit more independent. They're going to go off to college, university, or something like that. And it's great to see that they already have some of that confidence built into them from these previous experiences. She's looks forward to it every year. It's a big part of the summer that I know she really enjoys. And like I said, looks forward to it. So the question is just which kind of direction is she going to go? And she's still thinking about that, but she loves the camp. She's talking about some of the friends she met this past year, and maybe trying to connect with them so that they could all go at the same time, which would be nice to although she made lots of friends, it's always nice to have one or two friends there already. It just offers such a great opportunity for young people. We get so wrapped up in our computers and our lives, and now, especially with online, even if you're in class, you're still doing stuff online all the time. It's just great to get out for that, that 2 weeks of you're outdoors every day, rain or shine. And it's something that I think we've gotten away from. And I think it's great to have young people connect to that and realize that you can have fun outdoors. And there's so many unique experiences, the high ropes, the low ropes, the canoeing, the archery, all of these things that, you can kind of do it a little bit in the city. There's different places to go, but to be able to do that for 2 straight weeks is just a phenomenal opportunity to do that. And take your child, just watch their reaction when they're walking through camp and getting to try all these things. Like I said, during the open house, you'll see I think very quickly that it's something that it will be a change for them. It'll make it, it'll change them in a very positive way.
For more information about this program, you can visit their profile at OurKids.net.